Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Help me let it go. Go, 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 go. Go, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give your heart to Jesus. Let it take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live easy round, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if they say you will continue to be a zogo, if they say you will continue to be a prostitute, if they say you will continue to be a beggar, you will not marry.
All right, folks, we want to welcome you. This is our last and final segment for today's program. I'm Alfonso Zianso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Right here on the home front, we're going to be taking a look at the major conventions on the inside. That's the unions of Liberian associations and the leadership side. Role there is at stake with two potential candidates, but we do have one of the group here this evening. We're going to be having a conversation with them.
Let it go, let it go, let it go. Lord, help me let it go, man.
That's the voice of Minister Walcott right here. It's a little 8:05 Eastern Standard Time, and we are about to get this program on the way. The team standing by to the very headquarters ahead of the major elections in Ohio. Naturally, it's a battleground state when it comes to major presidential run here. So let's see what happened from Ohio.
Have a few words for Genesis and the pleasure in this new world. Be the power every day. I want
All right, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners. Let's get the ball rolling. The group is standing by, but in the interest of African solidarity, let's take you to La Côte d'Ivoire with this piece, and I'm going to be bringing our guest standing by.
Salut à toi, Meta ou de Pigoumé. C'est Jean Caï. Voilà le morceau. You do.
Okay, let's get the program going right here. Let me bring in our guys. They are already standing by. Let me bring in the president, the presidential hopeful. Mr. Shiwoh Kamara is standing by, I believe, at his headquarters. That the vice presidential hopeful from chair of the election commission had the opportunity to work with us. So let's see what happened here. Formerly my own boss with Ulaa. Alpha is on the other side. The entire team, hopefully they are here Let's bring them in here. Let's see what they have for us for the Unions of Liberian Association, to Ulaa, presidential run. They are all here. We're going to be having this conversation here. So they're going to be a crowded feed here. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. We got to hold these guys here because after here, some of them want to be going on Capitol Hill. They want to vote for the White House. So we need to start checking them here. Gentlemen, ladies, good evening. To welcome on the Liberia Public Radio, and it's good to have you here. For to do our audience a fairness, we will start self-intro. If there's a specific or potential role you will be playing, especially elected person, please also do that. If you're managing the campaign, it's also important to do that. Let me see here. What are the other folks here? Okay, Barbara Reeves is also here. Let me bring Reeves here. Okay, let's start the ball here. Comrade Charlotte, presidential candidate, who is kicking the ball off?
Well, I will start with.
Okay, I think Robert
Reeves is coming.
Reeves is having problem. Let me say, if I get his image, I will bring it out. I think the internet here. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see who's going first.
What do you prefer?
Well, you make your man when you get up there, and I will not be there. Start doing your own.
All right, I think I will start, and then we will go in descending order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. So thank you very much for inviting us on this Liberia Public Radio to espouse our views and our thoughts, our agenda about Ulaa. My name is Shiwoh Kamara. I'm from Lofa County. I'm married to my very beautiful wife. I have 2 girls and I have 2 grandchildren. I'm a social worker by profession. Past career was in education. I'm former president of the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania. I'm very involved with my community work. I'm a Christian by faith. I like helping people, and I'm very happy to be here tonight. Viewers across the spectrum of the globe, and as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, I have a qualified and talented team that I tapped that will be helping me, by the grace of God, right after the 18th to steer the affairs of Ulaa. These are teams that I think will bring the kind of leadership to the Union of Liberian Association of the Union of Liberian Association in Americas. So I will now, stop here and turn the baton over to my vice presidential candidate.
Okay, we do it as quickly as possible. We get a lot of things. We're not going to take time to do intro here, and then at the end of the day, the clock is off here. But let's do it as succinct as possible we can, so we can get the ball rolling. Let me say, Madam Commissioner, and I had a privilege to work with her, hard-working lady. Madam Grant, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sion. Hi, this is Minerva Grant. I am a social worker, present as a mental health professional and a case manager. I personally serve as regional vice president for the Northern region with Ulaa. Like Mr. Zia said, I work as the chairperson for the Election Commission 2 term. And right now I am working with Mr. Shiwoh Kamara. We are fighting for the president and the first presidential position of Ulaa. I live in the beautiful state of Minnesota, and I have 2 children, 2 grandchildren, and a host of other beautiful relatives. Thanks for being on the show.
Okay, that's her right there. I thought she was in retirement with Ulaa, not knowing she still have that extra streak. So thank you so much for giving back. I'll go to Mr. Bassi. Bassi, are you there? Unmute your mic.
Yeah, I am here.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Alfonso, for inviting us to your broadcast. And I am Alexander Akubazi. I am the current financial secretary. And in the past, I served 2 terms as both national treasurer and that of financial secretary. I am again running to be re-elected as national financial secretary for the year. I have worked with my community SCA which is a Washington D.C. Metro chapter, as board chair and IT board chair at the same time. I'm well involved in the community as well as being a family man with children and grandchildren.
Okay. It looks like nobody's standing here. Everybody I see here, potentially they are running. So that's a good thing. Okay, let's come to Dr. Willie Jala. Mr. Jala, good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Brother Alfonso. Thanks for the invitation. It is a privilege to be on your platform, and we certainly appreciate the invitation. I am Dr. Will M. Jala, former chairman of the board of directors of the Liberian uh, Association of Metropolitan Atlanta, former commissioner for the Election Commission chair, and also the chairman of the CRC, which is the CRC Mini Constitution Review Committee, and is glad to be on this platform and being a part of the Shiwoh Camara Grant team.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. If you get there, you know us. When white men know you, know your friend black men. You're hoping that we'll send our application. Okay, let me go to Mr. Tonga. Mr. Tonga, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
I can go ahead.
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fonzo, for having us on this show. My name is Alpha Tonga. I'm from the great city of Columbus. Our mayor called it a magnet city. I'm the current president of the Liberian Association here in the city of Columbus, LICI. I'm the current recording secretary of the Federation of Liberian Association in Ohio, which is Ulaa. I'm a family man. I'm married to a beautiful Dominican woman. I have 4 children, and I'm a business owner. When I'm not working and trying to grow my business, I'm out in the community and trying my best to make a difference in the community. So thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
And you are at Canada for the Northern region, correct?
The Northern region, yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go here. Let's bring sister here. What is the name? Emmanuel. How you call that? How you pronounce the name, please?
My name is Emmanuel Nagby.
Emmanuel. Okay, that compliment me. So pardon me if I didn't call it the right way. All right. So let's hear from you.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Soul, for having our team on tonight. We really appreciate that. We are honored to be here. My name is Emmanuel Nicobalas Nagby. I have a background in social work and psychology. I'm licensed in New Jersey as a licensed alcohol and drug counselor. I am very visible in our community. We kind of formulated our community efforts from the beginning, so we are very visible. I have set different platforms in there. And I am running to be a general secretary of Ulaa. I am a mother of 3 fantastic men. I'm married to my partner for close to 30 years, 29 years. We love to help. We love to bring our people some relief if it's possible. So we hope that all these skills that we have, we can bring it on the national field so that the people in the diaspora can achieve results. So thank you.
Okay. Wow. I've long been doing interview, but this one here, It's a lot of professionals and great community leaders, activists. So let's see what. Okay, well, guys, ladies, gentlemen, so we want to welcome you. This is the House of LPR for those of you. And if you want to follow us, you can also go on our official website, www.liberiapublicradio.com. The live video footage is there to our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter handle. And it is in multiple places. Let me do this here. Quick to share this audio as well. All right, let's get there. All right, so we're going to be sharing it. Okay, guys, good evening. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming here. Let's have a conversation here. Okay, Mr. Candidate, President to be, if elected by the Assembly or the Convention here, talk to us here. You have played a lot of major roles, community leaders, different advocacy, and here you are trying to get to the top yet. What do you have in store? And we're going to give all of these potential candidates the opportunity to also hear from them. What do you have in store? What is still pushing you? Why you want to be president? You are entitled to it, but what are you bringing? What have not happened within the UDOC belt corridor for which Shiwoh Kamarana is stepping to the top?
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. So, is your question really is an embodiment of the substance that has encouraged and has been the linchpin for which I'm vying to be Ulaa president. The system, as we see it, the current administration is broken. There's a lot of moving parts that don't connect. And the Liberian people are not benefiting from the kind of leadership that they need to benefit from. One of the things that have kept me desiring to be a helper by being president of the union is to ensure that I will be visible. I'll be visible at all times. I will ensure that my team and myself will provide the kind of relevant services that Liberians need. And some of the things that keep burning my mind is, for example, you have a lot of chapters that are either left the union on their own volition or were sometimes expelled depending on circumstances during the leadership. So I want to bring those chapters back. We want to revisit those chapters by engaging those communities and taking the union back to the local communities. We also want to ensure that we can do a lot of advocacy work, advocacy in terms of helping communities to connect with resources, community to engage in best practices. We also want to ensure that for example, we look at all of the procedures of the union, the policies of the union, to see where those policies do not benefit the Liberian people. We will develop a framework so that we can bring some level of transparency, fairness, since we are in 501c3 status, organization, so that we follow local, federal, and state laws. We also will be hoping to see as to how we can build a communication platform that would embody a way that we can sell the union to the Liberian people. So these are the kinds of ideas that I have. And with the crack of team that I have with me here tonight, we think that we can able to bring a better leadership to Ulaa. And you wouldn't see that kind of leadership that is dormant, that is not visible. They don't answer their phone calls. As we talk right now, there's even immigration issues here that we are rushing. As long as we are elected to the union, we ensure that those advocacy work begin.
Okay, that laundry in the machine can't hold that laundry place. All right, that's great. So what we're going to do here, we're going to give you a fair share here because I believe this is a team, and the purpose of the team to be a support system to the top. So we're going to try to give everybody the opportunity to hear from them. I'm going to be pushing it around. If anybody wants to make a contribution as well, don't hesitate to call me into a point. Madam Grant, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You have been taught by the Mr. Shiwoh, Mr. Kamara, to be the VP. And on what basis you accepted that? Why you want to be the vice president? Are you ready to go in case of anything not that good? And Mr. Kamara said, "Well, you know what? I have done well. I cannot complete my term." Are you prepared to take that lead to lead if elected as president?
Well, yes, I am. But one thing, I pray that Mr. Kamara finish his term. But I am ready to take it on. I joined Mr. Kamara because of his vision for this union. You know, I've been in the union for long, and you just thought I have retired. No, I am not going to, because where I want to see the union is not there yet. And I think Mr. Kamara can take the union with the rest of the team we have, can take the union where we want it to be. So I am ready with my experience, my time with the union, and then with my own community, the Liberian Association in Minnesota, OLM. I am ready to work with Mr. Kamara with my experience and what I know about the union. I'm ready. So, like you said, I hope that we finish the term. It's not something he's going to turn it over to me right away, and we're not going to do the just right just. So, but anything can happen. But as I said, I know Mr. Kamara knows that I am ready, and that's why he took me again with my experience and what I know about the union. So that's what I chose.
All right. And I'm quite sure that I don't need to tell you this is a pro bono work. So you accept all terms and conditions to work with Mr. Kamara.
Well, Mr. Seal, you know that we worked before as election commissioner. You know what we did? It was a pro bono work we did, and we did it successfully. So I accept everything. We are you. I remember you. The scene where you see Tuesday and Thursday were your visit day. We had all the visit days, but we worked together. You know that, and we had a successful election. So I am on board. I'm ready. That's something I know that they're not paying us. But because when you love your community and you want to see good of your community, you have to sacrifice all those time. So you know that. Thank you.
I have self-inducted myself here, so pardon me. Okay, so all right, let's go around. Mr. Kamara, going to be coming to you, but I know all of these men and women, there's a reason to have them on your team. Let me go to Mr. Bassi. Mr. Bassi, I'm quite sure you are aware. One of the things that community organizations are fragmented is the financial record. They are terrible. They are not forthcoming. They are not transparent. And so that have created a cloud, people on a wait and see attitude. With organizations that they can get financial report, people that disagree with them, their stuff. You are taking this role here. That's very, very much important. And I'm quite sure you had a conversation with Mr. Kamara before accepting, correct?
Yes, Mr. Alfonso. Not only consulting with the incoming president, Mr. Shiwoh Kamara, and our dynamic VP, who is a stronger woman in Ulaa, as we may call her. You just said the right thing and hit a hammer onto the right spots. When I joined Ulaa in 2015, before then, there was crisis in terms of financial records. And that prompted me at the time that where they saying we've been sitting on the fence, is about time to join the union to see what changes we can bring in with our professional knowledge that we have. And having been in the union for the past 6 years, like doing my introductory remarks, I stated I serve as financial secretary at the same time as national treasurer. My first election in Ulaa, I was elected as treasurer, national treasurer, and the financial secretary at the time, just before the first year could end during the Kune administration. He has to leave for some family reason. I then took over as treasurer and financial secretary. And since then, I have been doing the job that I love. serving our community, making sure there is accountability and transparency. There has been no time since my tenure in the union as treasurer and financial secretary that a report had never been made. In fact, during my 2 times as treasurer and financial secretary, I came out, I wrote a policy, financial policy into the union. And during Kune administration, we had a voucher system. That is, whenever any committee or any administrator wanted to request for funds, they had to indeed fill out that voucher. But during this administration, that was never done. And the reason why I am running for re-election is that I haven't completed what I started, and I do not want to leave it in the hand of a stranger. I want to make sure whoever is going to take this position will be able to do the right thing. That is, to be able to make report as required by the Constitution and the financial policy. There's a quarterly report that has to be made, which we do all the time, and the annual report. And there's no one in the chapters that we have in the union that ever went to any of these conventions that did not receive financial report. And I believe I have a good record, and I want to work along with Shiwoh and Minerva Grant during their administration to also ensure that their administration is doing the right thing.
Okay, doing the right thing. I like to see the actions really being performed. But we still okay. Let me come to Dr. Jalat. Dr. Jalat, I always see you as the vertebrae or the bare solid grounds of this organization if elected further, because more or less you're going to determine how the finances is being disbursed and so. So talk to us here with respect to your position. What if elected as treasurer for Ulaa? What do we anticipate? What do we expect from your leadership in being one of the chief custodians of the finances of Ulaa?
Thank you, Alfonso. So let's start first with the 5 pillars of Mr. Shiwoh team. One of the pillars talks about advocacy, effectiveness, inclusiveness, outreach, and accountability and transparency. So for the purposes of this conversation, as the candidate for the National Treasury position, I will focus on accountability and transparency. And I would like to join hands with Mr. Bazi, who is the candidate for Financial Secretary, by saying we want to ensure that Ulaa is accountable and Ulaa is very transparent in handling the finances of Ulaa. So how do we go about that? We want to make sure that there's a budget that is prepared annually that is approved by the executive, the board of directors, the eminent council. Once that budget is approved, we complement the efforts of Mr. Bazi to make sure there is a request for payment system vis-a-vis voucher system. So no funds goes out without the voucher being processed. So we have the requester sending the voucher to the president. The president vets the voucher. He sends it down to the financial secretary and the treasurer. Once that occurs, then disbursement are made.
No 3 o'clock overnight. EZPA calls Mr. Treasurer, Financial Secretary, you have to do this because the administration have to get something done. Nothing like that going to happen. Is that what you're telling us?
Absolutely. In fact, during the last debate, my incoming president, who is going to win the election come September 18th, indicated that the former or the current administration took $4,000 to Liberia that did not go through any due diligence. That for me is very troubling. This is not a mom and pop organization. So in order for you to disburse the funds, it has to go through the voucher system. So as we come in, we want to ensure that there will be internal audits on a yearly basis, and those internal audited financial reports are sent to external audit so that the external auditor can be a second eyeball to Ulaa resources. So those are the things that we want to bring on the platform so that everyone in Ulaa, including the local chapters, will be fully aware of how Ulaa funds are being used. I try to visit Ulaa website. Remember, Ulaa is Liberia in the America.
Mhm.
So you can compare Mr. Shiwoh to George Weah as president. We do not have any financial report on the website. That is very questionable. We have no budget on the website so as to compare your promise to your actualization, so as to evaluate your success story. We want to come here and make sure those are implemented on our website. So at the end of the year, there's something called scorecard is done in Liberia.
Mhm.
Ministers I praise. Some of them get F, D, E. We need to do that at Ulaa. If I'm the treasurer and I'm not being accountable, why should you give me a second term? You should elect me out. So those are the things we want to bring to Ulaa. Let's
Oh,
talk about organizational sustainability.
mhm.
We would like to organize other social activities that will help generate revenue for the organization. How do we do that? We can always have a national county meet. Let's move the goalposts. If Ulaa is a 501c3 organization, can we tap into
Or here,
501c3?
or here's to fund some sort of extra or supplement Ulaa financial capability. That's exactly the same.
That's
What
exactly what we are looking for. So that's why we come to the table, and we believe that the vision of Seattle supersedes the vision of our opponents. And that's why we are in the race. And we are in the race to win.
in it to win, play to win. All right, I love that. Okay, like I said, we're going to do it like a team where here. Let hear from everybody. The team here brings different expertise to make up the team here. Let me go to Mr. Tongat. He is a candidate for the Northern region of ULAT on Mr. Tai Kamara team. Okay, Mr. Tongat, thank you so much for your time and making information that we need to even facilitate this process as well. So it's like you already started working. And I know Ulaa is decentralized with different local branches. So what are you bringing to the table if elected, the Northern region? What precisely you going to do to cement the national administration effort to get that region to be active? Why you decide to take this role?
Thank you, Alfonso. I appreciate the opportunity being here today. I have a different approach when it comes to community organizing. Just to give you a background about myself, as the current president for the Liberian community here in Columbus, we've done a whole lot of reforms. When we took office, we had some challenges. Our community organizations had trouble delivering services to the community, services as it relates to after school program for our kids, as it relates to just food bank. I mean, there are community members that live way below the poverty line. And we found that when we did an assessment from Franklin County Job and Family Services, which is our local county organization here, we kind of pressured them to do a need assessment on the Liberian community to see what the needs are and how we can best address those needs. And the results were astonishing, Alfonso. And I mean, like more than 50% of the community members live below the poverty line. There are kids that are graduating from high school. They're not going to college. They're jumping into the workforce. with minimum skill sets. Liberians were living or are living below the medium income range. So that bothered me as a community member, as a community leader, as a community organizer. Like, what are we really doing for the Liberian communities? What our community organizations are doing for our diaspora communities? So my team and I, we quickly started working to figure out how we can find solutions for those issues that were raised in the assessment. The first thing we did, we took a look at our bylaws, our policies and procedures as a nonprofit, as it relates to conflict of interest, as it relates to financial appropriation, and just how are we generating revenue. 90% of our revenue were coming from just membership dues. And we know that membership dues, $50 a year, there is no way you're going to run a sustainable organization. So we took a look at all of those policies and we positioned the organization. First, we addressed our bylaws. And I said we, my team and I, my executive, and we put a committee together. We addressed our bylaw. We pushed the bylaw reform, and our community members overwhelmingly accepted it. And we've been talking about, the community have been talking about building a community center for many years now. And we took the first step. We said, let's see if we can first have land ownership. We went ahead and raised capital. I mean, it was so amazing. We empowered the community as much as members of the community did not want to. They've lost trust in the process. They managed to give us dollar, 50 cents, like whatever we could have raised. We raised over $75,000 and we managed to buy a 1 acre land. When we bought the land, we rolled out our $1.5 million capital campaign to build the first historical multi-million dollar Liberian community center that will address some of the needs. During COVID, for the first time in history, our community actually gets grants from the state, gets grants from the city to provide these needed services for our community. So I think I bring a lot on the table to kind of work with the Shiwoh Minerva team to see how we can push Ulaa's agenda within our region. And the first thing I want to do is work with other Liberian organizations within here in the northern region to see how we can do capacity building, how we can develop our board, how we can look at our services. There are some Liberian organizations that don't even have a 501c status, or they may have a 501c status, but they work as a 504 as compared more of a political organization. So that's a huge difference. So we want to take a look at that. We want to see how we can collaborate on certain projects within another region. And overall, my job is to see how we can push Ulaa's agenda.
Okay, let me hold you right there. Push Ulaa agenda. Great. Everybody's sounding great here. The implementation aspect after the team, hopefully it's elected. That's where I'm going to be looking at here. Okay, let me come to Madam Namwe. You will be playing a very crucial role. Is there a way that you can adjust your camera? I want my audience to see. And guys, just to let you know, our viewers.
Can you see me?
Very good. Yeah, thank you. Just to let you know, we're going to be, if any question, this is all about Liberian business. So anybody have any concerns on our live view, we'll also bring it in because that's bringing people together. Let me come back to you, Madam Namwe, if you will. You're going to be playing a very crucial role, Secretary General candidate positions. I mean, all correspondence deriving from the national administrations, coordinating with the regions and everything, the potential are going to be going in your office. Your intro here is a huge work. Do you take into consideration all of it before getting into it?
Actually, yes, I did. I did, and I know that I had to do a lot of adjustment in my schedule to accommodate my tax ahead. I did. Having said that, one of the things we would like to focus on with our team is the outreach. There's things that we and Ulaa have done in the past, but people don't even know about it. Very recently, during our campaign thing, I had a couple of my sons. I talked to them about Ulaa, and they went to the website. And my brother Will just said, if you go in there, there's not much you can see. What is Ulaa? Where's the history? So we are hoping that our office, through the support of Manera and Shiwoh and the rest of the team, Ulaa will become visible. Information will be transmitted on different sites. For instance, tonight, Mr. Alfonso, you're giving us a platform. If we come from the convention, leadership will come here and present what was discussed. That information has to be translated to every Liberian organization. Ulaa belongs to all of us, not a few. Why I'm in this race? This is not a boys' club. Ulaa is for us.
I love that.
It's for us, and we'll stand up strong. And Mr. Shehu Kamara, I knew him for many, many years. He has great respect for women. I knew him from he and my husband come a long way, but he has great respect for women. We will ensure that information is transmitted throughout the diaspora. Yes, it's a serious task, and I'm prepared for it on day one. We'll come from Ohio, and we win. We're going to come back here and tell you thank you.
Oh, all right. Then I mean, say that one day.
I said, let me make sure I'm the Secretary General. My team will come here and say thank you to you.
I have the authority of management. I have the authority to delete this video. Like I said, our audience, they are very noted of engaging with our guests, and what I know of them, very civil talking point here. And you remember, Mr. Dr. Jala was talking about the finances. Yeah, it's our guy here, Mr. Hamilton Zilli, is one of our valuable follower here, very committed, and always here to also contribute where they are. This is why it's lacking. This seems to be like a taboo. When people hear audit, it's like you're taking cow in a slaughterhouse. It's just to verify. I'm not an accountant, but common sense tells all that. So, Mr. Kamara, here is Mr. Hamilton Zilli asking a question. When you guys take over, would there be an audit?
So, thank you, Mr. Zilli. You know, I was reviewing our 100-day plan. So that plan is the second layer of that plan. Actually, we're taking into consideration reviewing all the policies, and procedures of Ulaa. So whatever the functionaries of the current administration will be, we'll review them, and where there's a need for audit, we'll definitely, conduct an audit. I'm proud of the kind of team that I've amassed, the financial secretary, and of course, Dr. Will, who will be spearheading, this part of the leadership. But definitely, once we review the policies and procedures of Ulaa and our framework, we actually point to where we need to take some actions. And if the need for the audit, we will audit.
All right, Ms. Nee. Okay, I love that. Reeves, I don't know. Why are you in Dagna tonight, Mr. Reeves? Are you in Liberia or where are you? All right, let me see when I get him much visible. I'll bring him. Okay, let's stay with this here. Your platform or your vision for Ulaa, or I'm saying team, very impressive. The outline, things, the bullet point being pointed out here, and I'm interested us having a little bit here because these are the things that you are contesting to, you are running on. Advocacy, inclusiveness. So it means to me nobody going to be left behind. Utmost transparency. Transparency seems to be the taboo within our community. Everybody gets something they want to hide. You and somebody walk down the road, one want to outsmart and stuff like that. Effectiveness, result oriented, outreach. You want to get out there. So I want us to be talking about this here. This seems to be your yardstick you are taking to this convention for you to read. Advocacy. Somebody listening to us here is in a broader context. What are things that you think are so cardinal you want to advocate for? Because Ulaa it's an advocacy group. They get a political side, whatever is there to engage national government. But the advocacy, what is the interesting part of it?
So the advocacy really is to be able to, for Ulaa to be that voice for the voiceless. Ulaa is an umbrella organization that's supposed to represent all Liberians and all Liberian organizations. But as it is right now, that this organization is not playing that role. So the first thing my administration would do, along with all of these very intelligent, men and women, will be to ensure that the virtual office of Ulaa is open. As it is now, Mr. Zion, our calls that come to the union, the president does not answer it, the vice president does not answer it. So that office is going to be an office that if a call comes to me at 3 a.m. about a Liberian, I will be able to answer it. Mind you, this is where the partners that are supposed to be working with Ulaa, other organizations, international organizations, want to, engage Ulaa. But if you don't have a leadership that answers the phone, you don't build a consortium of organizations. So we want to start from there. The next thing we really want to do with this advocacy is right now, I mentioned about passing, we have the Liberian Immigration Fairness Act. According to the research we've done, only 30% of the individuals that are qualified, for this green card have been able to register and get a green card. So it means you have 70% more of people who have not been able to register. Just like I did here in Pennsylvania when I worked with other immigration organizations like HIAS, the Pennsylvania Immigration Coalition, we will be reaching out to all these immigration organizations, pro bono organizations, to see how we can amass resources to help those Liberians that are remaining, who haven't been able to register. Also, on the line of advocacy, you have Liberians. We stay here, maybe Ulaa is almost, is 40 years old plus, but you have Liberians who now emerge into their local communities. Some of them are even, vying for state positions. So we want to, position Ulaa in a way where we can be able to encourage and support those Liberians who want to run for community state organizations, as long as they believe in the core value of the organization. So on the line of advocacy, those are some of the things we want to do. Now, yes.
Yeah, so let's do it this way. I'm quite sure these are able men and women. They will want to add their pieces as well here. So we can keep it brief, not to shortcut your agenda, but in order, because it's a large group too, so that everybody going to be heard. Talking about one of the things here that I see here, outreach, it could be the vice president, anybody, or you can come in. I got a call from a prominent community leader yesterday, right after the debate. I said, look, Alfonso, here we are, our chapter. Your vice presidential candidate, I worked with her. She was the hard-working woman when she served on the commissioner, one of the commissioners. My own chapter here, the Rhode Island chapter. Rhode Island holds huge Liberian. But for whatever reason, I don't know, the chapter right now is on life support with respect to Ulaa. Now I see this outreach yet, I begin to resuscitate to say, okay, maybe somebody going to be thinking about now. Will you also take into consideration, if elected for any reason, because Ulaa itself too is a big political organization that if the local chapter and the president can get along for whatever reason, whatever disagreement, that chapter stays away. It puts the other rest of the members who should, by virtue of their origin, they are members. But that chapter is being sanctioned, and everybody there just on hold because of maybe the president on whatever way. It could come from the national, it could come from the local chapter president. Is there any provision that there will be some sort of membership base? So if I'm here and my president become cocky, I should be able to also go to Ulaa convention. I should also pay my due, so I will be heard regardless of my president's maybe commitment to the national. That's serious. And since that debate, that I've received volumes of calls on that. If elected, Shiwoh granting, if elected, will you take into consideration, will there be a provision to start some sort of conversation regarding that?
The first, one of the things, thank you, Mrs. Zion. One of the things that we have thought about as a campaign, like I stated earlier about our 100-day plan. That 100 days plan, the first aspect of it is to engage our respective communities around their needs and some of the things that they desire. That means we're taking Ulaa to the people. We as an institution and those of us in the leadership will make ourselves visible in the respective chapters.
Hold on one second, Mr. Reeves, are you driving?
Yeah. Oh, still driving. That's okay.
No, not really. Okay, all right. We still need your
No,
you're in the background. Yeah, we still.
I'm parking. I'm not.
All right.
I'm not driving. I'm parking just to listen for something.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not driving right now.
Okay, all right. We want to make sure safety comes first too. Okay, Mr. Kamara, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so we'll reach out to those chapters, sit with the leadership, either through community meetings or maybe with a select few, and begin to have a conversation as to what actually is weakening those chapters. I, as a national president, because we are going to be elected, I don't want to go into a chapter and further exacerbate, any conflict that is obtaining in those chapters. I want to be able to build the kind of bridge that will strengthen those chapters. So we go into the chapter, sit with the leadership, and see what is happening. Because, Mr. Zion, part of the problem, even if it is not in the local chapters, people are just worried. People are just worried. There's segments of Ulaa since maybe the 2008 conflict, that brought division in Ulaa. People are just saying, you know what, we just tired because they don't see anything differently. So we want to bring that change, that we will be the change agent that will visit chapters, that will empower chapters, that will begin to have a conversation so that we can bring all of these chapters back. For example, you mentioned a chapter, but even Massachusetts, since 2015, it has not been part of Ulaa.
Yeah, and that was a very strong chapter.
Yeah, it was a very strong chapter. But you have a president or the leader, nobody has really just moved the needle one. So even if I'm not able to go, I can tell the Eastern Regional Vice President to take a trip, to Rhode Island and begin to have a conversation. And every time you engage local community, there's always a proven result of success.
Okay, I want to spin the board around. So all of these people, I believe the reason they are on your team is they have a lot of different expertise on board. But before I go to them, the positions of vice president, I don't want to take you on the higher scale, but I will have to do that because we want to put people on record. You, Mr. Kamara, will you dedicate a specific task if elected to your vice president, or are we going to have here like we have now? The vice president, I guess, ceremonial. So that doesn't hold a drip of water.
Yes.
We don't want that. We don't want Santa Claus. It's not an exhibition. The vice president is capable and effective as the president, and the vice president voice, her or his voice must be heard as well, whether locally or nationally. So when people in the Liberian politics, you don't know what the Constitution says. If anything happens today, who will be in charge of the armed forces of Liberia, or who will be in charge of Ulaa? I don't want a ceremonial vice president. She does not look like a ceremonial vice president. Will you dedicate a task to her? Will you give her that authority to proxy your affairs? Not everywhere elected Kamara goes there. No, you want your vice president to be visible as well. Talk to me.
Very wonderful question. You see, and this is one of the cardinal reason why I'm in this race. You see, experience matters a lot. Learning and being able to bring what you've learned in the past and you being able to exercise it. can bring a lot to the table. Mr. Sion, all of my leadership roles, and even all of the team members you see here, I'm always that person who delegates responsibility. I delegate responsibility and I follow up. I'm a team player. I'm not just a one-person thing. And the evidence speaks for itself. You can ask Ms. Minerva Grant.
Okay, let me start that right away. Let's start pushing the ball around. Gentlemen, you are not a spectator. You are a participant here. Add your voice to this disco here. Add your voice to this conversation that we are having here. It's an honest conversation. I think if Liberia is to be a changed Liberia, the people in Liberia should emulate the good examples of our community organizations here. But unfortunately, I can't vividly say it's not happening. So it makes it very difficult for us to correct the system in Liberia because the system here too is polluted. So let me start here. Push your boy around. Madam Grant.
Thank you. Let me push my voice and let me just, where Mr.
Kamara
stopped.
I know you are a hard working person. That I can verify. I work with you and I know we argue and you never back down so easily. So I don't want this guy when you're elected to go pack you in the old in the garage. No, I don't want to hear that garage.
So far, I don't think he's that type of person. We're working together as a team. I don't think, and Mr. Kamara see what I can do, and he always pushing me to do it. So I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think I'm going to be in the garage or there be a ceremony. And for us president, you know me, like you said, I have my voice, but again, I respect as the president. But like to say, we're talking about our plans, and advocacy. When you talk about advocacy, we talk about. When we started the election commission, when we started working, we did something. We made Liberia for the first time the union to call Liberia to participate in the Liberian election as observer. And that's something this team looking at. The next thing we're looking at, like, how can we in the diaspora vote? Be part of the election commission to vote. Be part of the election in Liberia, and that's something Mr. Kamara been talking about. So with my experience, he knows that with my experience, what we did as election commissioner to make Ulaa to participate the first time in the election in Liberia, we're going to work on that to see how Liberians in the diaspora can take part in the election, be voters, get all the state and vote. To vote out of state. And the next thing, like you're talking about the chapters. Now, our president, as the Northern Regional President, we had 2 chapters that were having problems. When our opponent that running with Mr. Kamara, that running against Mr. Kamara, Mr. Carter, he was regional vice president. We had 2 chapters that have first our leadership problem. But today, when I became regional vice president, those chapters are all right. They are elected, they have elections, they have elected government, and they are good because of our intervention, because of me intervening, and we brought them together. Unfortunately, politics still going on with the North Dakota chapter, but they have an elected government. Iowa have an elected government. They're going to be represented at the convention. So it's not something that we are strange to. Like I'm telling you, I've been talking to the Michigan team too. They wanted to be on long term, but again, politics. But I can tell you, come and September 18th, when we finish winning this thing, we'll win. We're going to bring all the chapters back. I'm going to work with you in Rhode Island. The Northern Region Prep and VP, Mr. Reeves, we're going to work with him and see how best we can bring those chapters that the Eastern Region VP, Mr. Reeves. We're going to work with him and see how we can bring those chapters back and bring more chapters because there are a lot of Liberian community in the Eastern there. We have other states that Liberians there. So we're going to see how we can bring all those chapters in. So that's something, Mr. Shiwoh. I'm not going to sit back. We're going to work. With this good team, we're going to work and do good for the union.
All right. I don't want anybody parking in any garage here. Snow, you can't.
I will not be parking in the garage.
And all of those kind of things. I don't want that here. So that's why I'm having the talking point. Gentlemen, I don't sound to be in here, but these are serious things. Let me bring in the number 3 person that happens to be the secretary. Let's give. We have to empower women. The men then they have lower than too much. Let's see here. So, Madam Namwe.
Yes.
You, I believe you follow in the conversation. Am I doing something wrong here?
No.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just want to make sure and get that here. Let's hear from you. What other things that you think perhaps Mr. Kamara has pointed out, Madam Grant has pointed out, but you're going to be playing a very consequential role as secretary, gatherings, all of the galleries, documents, and stuff like that for the organizations. If elected, your office will be overwhelmed. Correspondence has to get out right in time, responding, sending out, all of that. What can you guarantee for us?
I guarantee that I will work as hard as anybody will work to achieve our ultimate goal. I have my personal life. We came from Africa with our credentials. I have 3 kids in this country. I went to school, work. I was a wife, a mom, got my master's, and all of that, and I was able to do it successfully. As a good Secretary General, organization is a key. I believe in having an organized process. Our office will ensure that correspondence will be addressed in a timely fashion. Like my president my president just said, we are going to win this thing, and we're going to make sure that our information is disseminated in a timely fashion. That we would do. I work a job that I'm answerable to people below me and people above me, and we do that effectively. I've done that for the past maybe 10, 15 years in leadership in this country. I'm grateful for that. I know it's a tedious job, but I intend to organize it professionally and do it properly. That is my commitment to Ulaa.
Okay, great. What a good conversation here this evening. Folks, I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Guys, let me give you a little bit quick break here. So if you get a glass of water, you can do it, and we'll be right back. Okay, well, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners, wherever you are. If you have any question for those you following us online, just put your comment on the page here. It will surface here to me, and we will also display it. By the way, we have Shiwoh Grant team looking for the national leadership of the Youth Association in Americas pending convention in Ohio. So they are here as we serve nationally. We must also serve our own in-house here. So that's what we are having here. These are great men and women, professionals, trying to take the leadership role. Okay, so let's come to Mr. Bassi. You are listening to extensively. You listen to the guy who's TK you on. You listen to the number 2 person. You listen to the Secretary General to be if elected. All right, come on. I think that's Columbus, Ohio. Is that Columbus? The convention going to be?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, Columbus. All right. Okay. And what the piece of file you want to add to it, Mr. Bassi?
Well, thank you, Mr. Zinat. Like it's not the treasurer stated, the incoming treasurer. The Honorable Shiwoh, the incoming president, is like he's almost like a president of the country. So if we do win Saturday, the 18th, of course we're going to win. My role as a financial expertise will be to actually work along with him. In the diaspora, and we all can attest to that. Most chapters within the diaspora, whether chapters or associations, they kind of find it very difficult in terms of raising funds. And what I would like to bring to this table, to this team, is that I will try to use my experience, my know-how, to encourage this team to be able to go out to the chapters. You see, in the history of Ulaa have always sat by to have chapter comes to them. But what I would encourage as a financial person would be to actually encourage the team to go out to the chapter to help them to see how they can raise funds and see if they have any issue when it comes to finances. See how best we can help. Because you gotta remember, Ulaa is a chapter-based organization. And if we do not get involved with these chapters, there's no way we're going to be financed. So we have to actually encourage them as to how they can raise funds. And also what I would want to do is to also bring in some professionals who has accounting background. Like I was speaking to one personal friend of mine in your state, or Rhode Island, that after the election, which of course I'm going to win, as a head of the financial team, that I'm going to bring him on board to get some of his knowledge as to how we can build the finance department within the union and that of other chapters. So that will be my role as in my second term as financial secretary, along with Dr. Wade Jala.
Okay. Before I go to Jalat and Tonga, would there be any time that you're going to disagree with your boss, and what could be possibly be the scenario?
Yes, indeed. There will be a time I will disagree, and I have done that in the previous administration. And that is why they gave me the title of the governor. I am the UNO governor in Ulaa.
Oh, yeah. I love that. So, Mr. Jala, Dr. Jala, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Look, like I said, all of these organizations, the way you see things going is all about money. Even though some of us don't pay, but still you have to get your report to the people. And people who don't pay, they are the loudest one in anything. They're eating our money. They're not putting no dime there. And they have to talk. But I don't know what are the extra provisions. I have not taken a look for Ulaa stuff. Regardless whether whoever on the other side disagree with this team here, and on the other side, if you liked it, will this administration be a support system to the local chapter? Because what happens if the local chapters are not effective, it affects the national team as well, the national body. If we have our chapter that is on life support that is there, we have our people here, they're not making no report, they're not doing anything. And then the national will say, okay, we don't local chapter business. We don't want to pour our mouth inside. It's gradually killing the mother organization. Because guess what? People here will get that sense of frustration. National not talking. They're not there to intercede. So you as a treasurer, Kennedy, the financial treasurer, because some of the people might be struggling making reports, but they will need help and they will not want to ask. Would there be a time where, if you guys will kind of go down to these local chapters to strengthen their financial record, how to get it in place and all? Because when it's good, it will be a good for the mother, for the national administration as well. Is that something you think you will consider doing if you like it?
Yes, so that's something we're going to be considering. And so the way we do that is to partner with the regional vice presidents. Remember now, the capacity building of Ulaa starts with the regional vice president. So they have to develop programs that the local chapters can undertake or help the local chapters undertake. So when it comes to the financial aspect of it, we're going to tag along with the regional vice president to make certain that we accomplish such objective. But let me just pivot a little bit to the question you asked about the garage. So as the candidate for treasurer position, in 1985, when I decided to go to BWR and study accounting and bookkeeping, my days of garage being closed was over with. In any organization, the financial team is pivotal to all discussions. And as former national treasurer for BWI, Alumni Association in America, there was never a day the garage door was closed because I had to make my voices heard. As the current National Financial Secretary of the University of Liberia, Alumni Association in Americas, there is no garage door for me. I make my voice heard at all times. When I listened to the incoming president, Mr. Shiwoh, he was very politically correct when he tried to speak politically about audits. Brothers and sisters, no organization goes further without any audit. In my own environment, we consider doing compliance audit. What does that mean? Right now, we have a situation where we're not certain if Ulaa has filed any tax returns with any federal, state, or local agencies. Folks, we must audit to see if we are compliant. And then we move the goalpost to financial statement audit. If you don't do audit, you can never know your failures and your successes. So when you hear people get so frightened by audit, I get baffled. I like to be audited so I can know where I'm going short. Audits are intended to help institutions get in the right track. And that's when we will do audits, we'll do follow-up audits. For example, if you were to audit Ulaa today against its budget, and you found that 50,000 were allocated for a project, only the final 100,000 was used, you have to find out why. Was there a misappropriation? Why was the budget not aligned? So when you present the audit findings and give management the opportunity to reconcile with you your findings, when you do a follow-up audit, you do not expect such to reoccur. So that is why people must begin to stop taking audit as a witch hunt. Audit is there to strengthen your organization. And as we come on this team, we want to strengthen Ulaa. And that's what we're going to do. And when I took on as candidate, that was the first thing I asked Mr. Shiwoh. Are you prepared to engage in internal audits on Yellow Financial? He assured me.
What was the answer?
Are you prepared to engage in external audit? He assured me. Based upon those two things, I felt that Mr. Shiwoh is the best alternative for Ulaa. And that's why we are going to win 2021 in Hawaii. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Mr. Dennis Casa, Dennis, are you with us or what? Because I see dark image. Dennis, are you with us? Casa, Dennis?
I don't think Casa is with us. I thought he was going to watch it to listen to it. So I don't know how he got on.
Okay. So then, we can't just do it. Okay, that's good. We have to, have all of this here. So, Mr. Tonga, Northern region. So you have a greater tax as well to get the administration to function, because I believe the chapters within your region will be directly under your supervision. If elected, there will be some people who on the other side disagree with you now, which is you're right. Are you willing to get them on board and say, hey, the deal is done. This is what we need to do for the good of Ulaa. How are you going to do that?
Thanks for the question. Great question. At the end of the day, it's really not about us. It's about moving our community forward. So yes, we are going to reach across the aisle and we are going to engage. The biggest thing that we will focus on each one of our region, especially our northern region, is that community engagement. That's community engagement for the diaspora is very, very, very important, because we once again have to get the trust of the community members. I'll give you an example. Here in LI, here as a local community chapter, I serve as a secretary prior to me serving as the president.
Hold
And
on
we
one second.
office,
Hold on. Luis, can you lower your monitor? If you're listening to something, you have to lower it, please. Because we're getting the echo. Just in case you want to lower it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, it was very difficult to get people involved. So we couldn't even really set an agenda, like real concrete agendas, because we did not get community participation. So we had to go back to the drawing board and really engage our community, engage the youth, engage the elderly. And as we speak today, like 6 years later, before there were community members that used to ask, what is LICR? Now there's not one person in the Liberian community that don't know what LICR stands for, that don't know what LICR does. We want to take the same exact model to the rest of the chapters within the northern region. We're really going to focus our efforts on engaging the community as a whole so that we can put ourselves in a position to be able to push Ulaa's agenda across the board. But my first focus is how can we market this organization a different way to our community, to our chapter members.
All right, guys, if you're listening, ultimately the audio is going to come back, and it will also be a pain in the neck to the audience, not just only to you. So just lower whatever device in case you are listening. That's okay. Reeves, you want to come in, or are you still working on something there, Mr. Reeves? Okay, we're still putting your headphone in the studio. Okay, well, folks, like we said, let me go to Mr. Kamara. You are the captain of this vessel and captain of this plane that are going to be taking off here. So let's get more out of you, because ultimately you're going to be the ones going to pass down decisions, and your team members going to be working with you. Effectiveness. I want to hold you with what you told us or what you are telling us you're going to do. What sort of effectiveness you're going to be bringing to this table here? What is it? Put it into context here for me.
What effectiveness would be is, to make sure that every decision, every project, every agenda that a union wants to execute, the agenda will be well thought about, well evaluated, and it meets, all the best practices requirements. So, for example, if what is happening now, that there's a thought about building a bank in Liberia, if at any given point that kind of thought come about, will ensure that it goes through the national administration, all of the members of the administration approve of that project, then it goes to the board and it goes through the ranks and file of the entire union, in particular the National Leadership Council. So money, if it's going to be spent, it will have to go through the voucher system. It's not just going to be a guesswork that I, as a national president, will just write maybe and say, you know what, give me $4,000. We need to take it to Liberia, maybe to build a bus stop. There has to be a need for that bus stop. There has to be a need for whatever project. So that's the kind of effectiveness I'm talking about. It has to be, in my practice, Mr. Zoe, we call something evidence-based. It means whatever you really want to do, it has that evidence, and it has to match what you really want to do. So we don't want to do a guesswork. So I, as a national president, will be guiding the rest of my core team members to make sure that our decisions are guided by evidence.
Will you take personal of their opinions, their view, when they disagree with you? Will you frown on them? This guy want to take my seat. He want to overthrow me. Now, that's the thing. When we disagree with our leaders, we're saying being antagonized, and you're saying this person is not pushing your agenda. Are you willing to listen to opinions of different view that you will bring from your team members? And will you Yeah, will you not take that personal against them?
No, Mr. So I come a long way. I come a long way, and I hate to say, well, I have experience. One of the thoughts that I've had, one of the theory that works well, and I'm going to say it to you, not in a clear way, is a conflict or disagreement is an inherent element of organizational growth. Meaning, when people disagree, when people bring on the table different ideas, it helps to strengthen that organization. And as president of the union, I will ensure that my decisions are guarded, they're well thought about. It's not just going to be a rush. And that's the reason why this union needs a change that I desire, because if the captain at the helm of the ship needs to understand what he or she is doing. Because this union has suffered too long, and every time Liberians come about, people are just tired and weak. So I'm going to be reaching out.
I say I'm glad that people are tired, right?
No, people are tired. People are really tired about the way the union is going, because, nothing is happening. You elect someone, they go to bed. After 4 years, they wake up, everything around them is ahead together. They got no idea. We're not going to do that.
All right, let's push the ball around here. Let me go to the vice presidential Kennedy, and we're going to come back here to everybody. We want everybody to give an input here. Madam Gren, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so talk to us here and the rest of the audience. What is your own understanding from what you have in your platform here, effectiveness? What is your own understanding? What is your own interpretation?
Well, my interpretation of effectiveness is we being able to pass on information, communication to our chapters. That when things happen right away, like when we come from convention, resolution that comes out of that convention, our chapter should be able to get it right away. I can't remember the last time Ulaa sent out a resolution from convention. We should be able, and with our able secretary, I know that's something we will do. So when we talk about effectiveness, it's communicating, getting all the chapters on board, getting budget on time, getting the report of our account. When our treasurer and our financial secretary finish working, those people go down to the chapters, because they're the one make the union. We should be able to listen. We should be able to answer our telephone. I will tell you, I was just in Philadelphia 2 or 3 weeks ago, right in my own chapter, OLM. My co-chairman of the board, he called me. He like, we have a member right now in Ohio, Cleveland. He has a problem with his son, and he needs to get in touch with somebody there. And in 2 hours time, I was able to connect him with the president in Cleveland, and he was able to get help. So that's why I see when we talk about effectiveness with our team, those are the things we are going to do. Be able to get in contact with our members. As I said, we're talking about the immigration thing that's happening right now. There's no workshop, nothing you're not talking about. The leadership that they're the only thing they put it out there, past pictures that they took with senators and things that, I was doing it. But we are at a stage where the people are supposed to benefit, and nobody doing anything for you. Besides, they check some chapters to help their people. So when we get there, those are things we will do that will be effective for our people, that our people will be with us. So that's how I will interpret it.
Yeah. Okay, asking. Let me go to Madam Nambi, who is the Secretary General position. That's a very, very whole lot that after I know there will be a secretariat, but the general secretary, obviously, in most cases, is part of the secretarial board to also represent the interests of the administration. Because when somebody kick the can down the road, we're going to hold Shiwoh. If he's elected, we're going to hold him and say, "Hey, you the one to what I voted for against. You are the president." So, Madam Nangwe,
Yes.
the effectiveness is that are you exempted from it?
No, I'm not. I'm actually part of that process.
So
And my VP just said it right.
Mm-hmm.
We had a virtual convention last year. We still have yet to see the report from that convention. We are going to ensure that we are effectively passing on the information. We will kind of make sure that all our chapters, secretaries, we are in touch with them so that when we have information, it can be disseminated properly and directly to the proper pipeline. So those are all those kind of effectiveness that we'll do, and there are more to come. Like I said, some of us, when we joined Ulaa, we were in our 40s. Most of us here are in our 50s. If you go to the convention in Ohio, Mr. So, it will be our crowd. 20 years from now, 10 years from now, most of us will not be able to drive 6 hours. What happens to Ulaa? So that outreach has to happen. That information has to be disseminated so our youth, our young people can be a part of this process. And how do we do that? We got to reach out. We got to be effective. Our young people don't have time to sit down and wait for 4 or 5 hours of useless meeting and people arguing with them. They don't have that kind of time. The young guys want to come, resolve an issue, and move on. That's part of effectiveness.
Really
you can't have a meeting that lasts 50 hours. The children
endless,
don't have that time.
Endless meeting.
Endless meeting. We're not going to do that. And I think Shiwoh campaign, our team, I think we are in a real good structure. There's another thing you said about Mr. Kamara. He said whether he will get angry. Mr. Kamara had put himself in a middle of 2 strong women. We have 2 of us have our own serious opinions. Trust me. He is the one who will say, like, okay, and he will listen to us. We don't always agree with him. But at the end of the day, the 3 of us will get, this is how it's supposed to happen. And he agreed. He's a very open man. Trust me, my neighbor has tension. I got tension.
Oh, no.
I know the reason. Relax and be like, okay, let's fix it. So he's not the kind of person who will shut us down. He is very accommodating. He's an experienced leader.
Yeah.
And he will bring about change in your life.
There was a reason I was asking your VP, you know your VP, because I know her, I work with her, that I can someone with a good steady hand in taking, and that's what people look for in people. People grab people from nowhere, they don't know them, and you bring them, you don't talk to them, you bring them on board, and you think some sort of surgical or magical operation going to take place. I don't know. Yeah, because you didn't do a good vetting. So a team becomes successful when you get a team player. So let's bring in the 3 gentlemen, guys. We are not leaving you out of the whole game here. You are part of the whole here. Let me go to the play where the money, all the hala here, that the money is the root causes of everything here, and that's where more or less my emphasis is going to be going. Dr. Jala.
Thank you, Alfonso, again.
Effectiveness. I'm not sure you are exempted from that. When I'm shocked. That's if what I'm hearing from my Madam Nangwe, it's like a year now. Convention took place, and there's no report, no resolution. So people just go and party. And these are some of the things these people sick and tired with it because you can't. It's not a fancy net. We just put it inside there and it's going down the drain. We can't get it back. People are investing their time, energy, the resources, finance. People taking risks with their life. People are going to be flying, driving. And after the event, and other people think they go to bed and go lay down. And they tell us this is a pro bono way. Nobody paying me. Yes, you knew nobody will pay you, and you took it because you want that title. But we are talking about function. We don't have time for people with a title thing here. We're looking for people to do the work. You are going to be the secretary.
Treasurer.
Treasurer, if elected, and you're going to be working with the financial secretary. after convention, will we start getting phone call? My grandma, my wife, mother going so in Liberia. So this week I can't get this report. Will we get that, Dr. Jala?
So let me tell you, it's a great question. So the overall answer for that question is that I would like to see the team's entire vision being effective. So there are 5 pillars. Advocacy. We want to make sure we are very effective on advocacy. But let's dive down to the financial environment. For me, effectiveness would be timely financial reporting, timely internal audit, timely external audit, timely budget preparation and presentation. When those things occur, then we are effective. Let me give you my backdrop. As National Financial Secretary of BWR National, at every convention, we counted all cash as a team. We presented a preliminary report on Sunday morning during the chapel service. Every Sunday morning, we go to church. We give a preliminary financial report. The margin of error there is no more than 5%. At the University of Liberia, we count all money in the night. In the morning, we also present a preliminary financial report with a 5% margin of error. When we walk back to our individual states, we synchronize all the data and we present a formal financial report. How do we accomplish that? We build a spreadsheet. As the delegates come in, they are cataloged into the spreadsheet. So by the time it's 12 o'clock, we know how many delegates came. We know how much money we collected. As we sit at the door to collect revenue, the computer is right there in real time. Once you pay, we'll grab your ticket, we'll log it into Excel. And so before the night is over with, all we are doing, we are matching the report to cash and looking for any variance. So I can assure you, when it comes to effectiveness, we're in the treasury sector of Ulaa, you can assure you will get 100% efficiency. Thank you.
Okay. I love your financial term that you are really putting into context here. Audit. I heard you're not scaring Mr. Kamara. Yeah, man, we audit, Bene. The care one in your own baby. Okay, Mr. Basi, before I go to Mr. Tonga, there's anything you want to add there? From your side as a financial aspect too? Is there anything you want to add up?
Are you saying Tonga or Bazi? Tonga is the north thing.
Yeah, Bazi. Yeah, two of you the finance but I will put you together because you have to coordinate because we're going to be giving the money. So the record's going to be the record and the money has to be to move, simultaneously be in one accord. So we want to make sure you start work now if you guys will be elected. Yeah. You want to add up to it, the effectiveness?
Well, I think the incoming treasurer have said all that I needed to say. When we talk about effectiveness, which of course I have been doing in my position as treasurer and financial secretary. Like I said, we have the union has a financial policy. And in the financial policy, it states that every quarterly, we as an administration have to make a report, quarterly report. And what we do in my position as a financial secretary, I prepare the financial report, submit it to the president. The president then submit that after reviewing it, submit it to the board for approval. And here's the thing in Ulaa, every chapter involved, they are represented on the board. So meaning every chapter gets to know what is going on in the union when it comes to finances. And then what happened when we get to a general assembly, like we're going to be meeting again this coming weekend in Columbus, there will be a financial report where everyone going to have the opportunity to question the financial thing or the administration. There is nothing hidden when it comes to finance in the union. And effectiveness is one of my strongest point to deal with. I can tell you this: you can speak to the opponent team when they come on. That, and you remember the last time when you had the first debate with the two presidential candidates. I rebutted the Honorable VP Carter, where he stated that in fact the incoming VP and that of Eminem Kune took $14,000 from the union to go to Liberia. I said that is untrue, and I can defend that anytime because I have the record to prove. Whatever went on financially in the union, I do have records. And these are some of the things we talk about because you have to know what you're doing. And if you cannot defend what you're doing, because what we are is that we're doing a job that is not being paid, but because of the passion we have, we kind of get involved into these things. Going down to Colombo this weekend, it's gonna cost some of us over $3,000 just to go to Colombo from our own pocket. Okay, and think about it. Some are married. We got children. Wife is getting annoyed. Oh, you getting all of this money? Why are you getting all of it? But I mean, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. So effectiveness is very, very important when it comes to organization.
Okay, good. All right, thank you so much. I think the conversation is going pretty well. Let me go to the northern region to where if elected to be the next vice president for the region, Mr. Tongat Alpha.
Yes, sir.
So effectiveness. Any handicap from aside from you? What will be your effectiveness you're going to be bringing to the table to the Shiwoh green team?
That's a great question.
So where I so tired, but I got to sleep small. Anything else? I don't know what I part of
the. So by trade, I'm a result-driven entrepreneur by trade. So I'm a just pushy businessman. I'm driven by results. And I take that particular experience in my community work. I run it I won't necessarily say I run it like a business, but the same energy that I apply in my business and drive results, drive revenue, drive profit is the same exact energy that I put into my community work. And my community can attest to it. We've raised thousands of dollars for our community here locally. So I'm going to bring that same energy to the northern region. Like I said earlier, our main focus is really capacity building and community engagement for this particular region. We can do a lot more for our community. So that result-driven attitude that I have, that I bring from the business environment to the community work, I think we will be able to drive a lot of results. And once again, make our union as proud as it can be, so that our diaspora, Liberian diaspora community here in the States, can be really, really proud of our union. So I'm going to bring that same exact energy to the table to drive those results.
Okay, good. Mr. Reeves, are you part of I don't know whether your chief strategy to the campaign or Reeves, is he partaking? Because I see his microphone muted. I just want to make sure so he can say, oh, I've been on, nobody come to attention. Mr. Reeves, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so tell us here, what's the role with this team here? Campaign strategy, or you're going to be the president elected? What's the role?
It's Harry couldn't get my title. Let me first of all say I'm sorry I came late, and because of traffic and transportation, that's why I'm coming late. But it never late, so we come. My role on this is I'm running as the Eastern Region Vice President.
Oh, and that's your position here. Then you're running late, my son. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had one or two things going on, and running around to get our delegate settle in, and that's why I came late. But nevertheless, my team has said it all. And one thing I bring to the table is my inclusion. I spoke to few chapters president, and just to listen to them, I concluded that the chapters are dormant. They are not involved with Ulaa. The only time they come is when election is coming. Then Ulaa is seeking the money. They're where they get the money from when it comes to dedicate certain fees and other stuff. Then that's the time, even to ask around for the deals. Ulaa are dormant in that. They will wait for last minute time and say, let us just allow them, and they will come to us. We will catch them when election is coming. And that's how Ulaa been operating. So I come with that mindset. You know, when I first started to have a conversation with the president, and he drove me into his mission, he drove me into his vision. And I started back and thought it wise and concluded that this is the vision that I would love to be. This is the team that I will want to embrace, and to see an effective Ulaa, we need a strong team. And looking at the team here of 7, I have concluded, and if they lose this team, they lose the vision that Ulaa has. And I'm one person that comes with that voice. I have exhibited it a lot in my chapter. By the way, I'm from the Staten Island chapter, SECA. So I came with that mindset to connect, to build bridges, to build a network where we all can work together in this region. And I see a lot of potential chapters, but their mind hasn't been put to use. And this is where I come. And I'm designing a strategy where we can all come together as a team and build that connection, build that community, that we can speak with one voice, a voice that will bring us together as a Liberian in the diaspora. So my team members have said it all. So I will sit back, wait for questions, and to deliberate. So I will just stop this far and.
You didn't answer everything, my man. All right. Okay. Well, folks, again, you can send your comments, your questions if you have any here. Today we are in conversation with one of the contestant candidates, vice president, vice secretary, and all of that for ULAT. Yeah, so let me ask you. I know it might sound a little bit ridiculous, but we have to do it because the expectation. I'm never saying, never anybody going to a race to say I will. I'm not going to win. What happens? Let me ask that. This is going to be a different type of election, correct?
Yes, it is.
So let me ask you here. It might sound a little bit ridiculous, Mr. Kamarat. This whole thing here, you are driving the force. Do you have any apprehensions about the process currently, the electoral process itself, with respect to the organizations, the new system that are going to be used? Is there anything that you think that the election commission, there's some they are listening that they need to work on as a candidate, stakeholder?
Thank you very much, Mr. So. There's really, first of all, I came to this process with the understanding that we are here today with an ad hoc elections commission where we are going to a convention and delegates.
What?
Delegates.
You say ad hoc committee?
Yes, we have an ad hoc commission. The commission that you start with on Sunday is an ad hoc commission. You didn't know that?
Oh, well, I can blow that. I can blow that trumpet. I want to get it.
All right, all right. So we are here because of the vibes and the inability of the current administration intending to disenfranchise me or to disqualify my campaign. So it was the gallantry of the Eminent Council, the National Leadership Council, and my campaign that led that fight that, of course, brought into place a new elections commission. If I should answer your question directly, I started trusting the process, but as it is now, there are some questions that need to be clarified and need to be answered. For example, the commission, the current ad hoc commission, has not been steady in maintaining its independence from the national administration. The commission information up to last night was coming from the Secretary General of the current administration, when that Secretary General is also a contender, and of course, for this current election. Also, as we sit here, despite all of the issues that brought us to a new commission, the ad hoc commission, and have been communicating with a select few members of the Eminent Council. And
but let me bring you to a point here quick before you proceed.
Please.
So it looks like, from what I'm hearing, the current secretary is trying to succeed his or herself. Is that what you're saying?
Precisely, yeah.
So suppose, let's flip the coin here. If Shiwoh and Grand team tries to succeed herself, and you still have the same current Secretary General on that team, what do you think the communication going to be coming from? Or is this person on the election commission?
No, he's not. He's not. He's just in administration. Mr. You stopped me, and I hope I don't lose my thought here. But I can say this to you: even though we have an ad hoc commission, but that ad hoc commission still is under the tenets and the principles of the Ulaa Constitution. The Ulaa Constitution states that when they elect, in fact, one of the 2 or 3 organs that is autonomous under the Ulaa Constitution. So when the administration, say for example, Shiwoh Kamara administration, in 2023, it will go into election. When I constitute a new elections commission, I can assure you that I will not temper with any aspect of that commission, because the commission needs to be independent. Right. The president should not exercise any undue influence on that commission. So that's a clarification I was making. Okay. Now, this current ad hoc commission, the way it is doing business is raising more questions than the answer that we have. For example, there is a new machine that's supposed to be used on Saturday. We haven't had any conversation about maybe failures or what is going to happen in a
tested by nobody. You haven't witnessed anything to be tested?
No, nothing. We got no clarity. So, and for sure, these are some of the things we're talking about. We just talk about effectiveness. If you are making any decision, you need to ensure there's a contingency plan. So I wanted to just end by saying, even as it is, that all of the chapters, on this, you're very sure. You heard one of the commissioners saying on Sunday that all chapters were going to be accepted, their needs were going to be published. As it is now, the commission, a select few of the eminent council have disbarred Illinois and Pittsburgh from participating in elections. These are some of the convoluted problems we are talking about. So if you're going to be asking me whether I will accept the result, I think the process first needs to be clarified. We need to trust the process, as we are just maybe 72 hours away from the elections.
Have you made a formal complaint to the eminent?
Yes, my campaign made a formal protest this morning to the eminent council, taking into consideration that the commission has not been able to establish its own independence, that the commission itself, even though it is under the supervision of the eminent council, but a 1 or 2% of the eminent council does not constitute the eminent council. The eminent council is a select few of former presidents and former board chairperson who served their term and were never removed from office. So you can't do business with 1 or 2 persons. So it's a process that we're watching it with an eagle eye, and I'm telling you, it's troubling.
It's true. Maybe we can talk to, if they can serve us a copy, and perhaps who to contact. I think we must find ourselves into problem solving. I don't like to manage crisis. To manage crisis is not a good thing, and that's where we are. No, we need to avoid crisis. But like we always like to manage, and we can manage it effectively. So when it becomes crisis, now it's a chaotic situation. I would be glad if we can have that, maybe that letter on the basis of that we can do a follow up through with the eminent, because we don't want people going into a process with a lot of apprehension, and that's a valid point you raised. And these are the things. Electoral process is one of the things that kind of get our organizations into disarray, because when the process is not being fairly conducted, executed, then of course you're going to have members to go away. We do not want that situation just based on the information you're having. Gentlemen, we are kind of like running out of time. Yeah, Dr. Jara?
So let me just add my voice to the president. You know, there's something called conflict of interest. It's either perceived or it's actual. So the fact that communications are coming from the ACME, and the ACME is a stakeholder in the election, suggests a perceived and direct conflict of interest. So we believe that as we go to election, we are hopeful that the Election Commission, the AHOP, will do the right thing in ensuring that elections are running smoothly. I'm a candidate from Georgia. The president/executive director is a candidate for regional vice president on the other team. We submitted our listing of delegates. She marginalized the list and only sent no more than 12 of our delegates and put 32 delegates or 38 delegates for herself, even though that's a conflict of interest right there. We brought the matter to the Election Commission, and my colleagues will bear me witness. They are referring us to the Executive Council, who is also contesting the election. Where is the check and balance?
Oh boy.
How do you mitigate that conflict of interest? Very troubling. So, Mr. President, I want to applaud you for calling that out in the public domain. Thank you.
So, yeah, please, this thing shouldn't take out to like bro with the CPP. Yeah, one group of people trusting the process and the other people not trusting the process. This is kind of like a serious thing here. So, let me ask this question here, because the election is just read back. Mr. Kamara, your team, do you have access to the number of delegates accredited to this process as we speak?
Yes. So this is what it is. And again, that's why every decision we make, we got to ensure that we have an experienced group of people, in charge. So on Saturday, so the election commission rushed through a publication of chapter listings that some of them were PDF signed by the Elections Commission, and I think about 5 or 6 of those chapters were never, they were still in Word, meaning that they could be tampered with. So as of this morning, and I've been in touch with the chairperson, as of this morning, those chapter listings that were sent, and this is my personal observation, it looks like the Election Commission overdid the entire thing and put it in the way they wanted. Instead of keeping those chapter listings the way they were presented to the Elections Commission. Now, the problem with that is you might go to elections. It is the possibility is that whatever, say for example, a Liberian Association of Pennsylvania president submitted, there might be some alteration because the Election Commission redid the list. And these are the things we're talking about. Election is a very delicate process. Every action that you take, you need to be careful. So, yes, I saw a republication of all of the delegate lists with minus Pittsburgh and
Chicago.
Yeah, Illinois. So they have 16 chapters according to the roster, and you have 2 county organizations. So altogether you have 18. But they did it in their own format, the way they thought that was appropriate.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know what to immediately therefore. Okay, it almost time here. On this whole thing here, can I get a quick 1 minute each from any of the officers, any view you want to express? Madam Namwe, is there anything you want to express with that?
Yes, thanks to Mr. Soul for giving us this opportunity, and Mr. Kamara, thank you for bringing that up with the Secretary General now, who is also running his own campaign. He is elective to paste and copy and paste what the Election Commission gave him. I have had an opportunity to speak with the Election Commissioner himself, Mr. James Barclay, and I said to him, I have an opposition who is running against me, but he is the one who is your liaison, who has become your liaison and posting your information. I said to him, how fair is that, sir? And he's arguing, well, oh, we don't have access to the Ulaa site. I said to him, sir, you call Vama Kamara or the Fremont guy, they will make you an admit for that group just for the election period. And you will have to post your own stuff. I said, we've been around you, this is an age of technology. You can't tell me because you don't have access to post something up. So therefore, Mr. Fremont should be given that access. I say it's unfair to me, and it makes me feel very worried. That is this a commission that is supposed to serve all of us, or what are we heading for? It's very troublesome. Secondly, the machine he's talking about, yes, the Democratic Party in our era have used that machine before, but none of us here has seen the machine work. Are they going to give us a tutorial on Friday? Are they going to see us and find out on Saturday? How are they going to do that? And my president is correct. Before these initiatives are taking place, they should have called us to a meeting and tell us this is how we want to do it, what you think, so we can have a place of clarity. However, sir, we are going to Ohio with determination that we will become victorious. Whatever they do, the Shiwoh Manera campaign will emerge victorious. And I'm saying this because I know the change that we're talking about, that way it will start from.
Wow.
We're not going to cry wolf, wolf, but the change, I'm listing these things up to tell you that we are faced with these things that we're heading for to Ohio. But we are faced with that challenge, and I know our people will vote for us. They can cancel whatever group of people who they think is leaning towards Shiwoh and Manera campaign. And that's what is happening. The Pittsburgh and Chicago are leaning towards our team. So that's why they're kind of sanctioning them. We know what's happening, but we are going to Ohio and we ensure that victory emerge and the change will start with us. Thank you.
Wow, this is wow. Okay, quickly here, guys. Let's do a run through here. We are already out of time here, so let's do a run through here. Mr. Who wants to speak on that? Madam Grant, you want to speak to that?
Well, I would just say that, yeah, I can speak to that. I mean, my president and my secretary general has spoken a lot about that. But with my experience as chairperson for the election commission, and that the year we were chairing the first year, we had four candidates fighting for the
I remember.
position. It was not easy, but we did a successful job. And I guess Mr. Kamara, he can attest to that. We were open, we were transparent, we were able to communicate with them, not through the leadership that was there, because remember that the secretary that were part of that leadership were running as vice president, were running as president. So we were able to come and get our own thing to do everything independent. We never passed through. So that really troubled us when we talk, our team talk. I talked to Mr. Kamara and the secretary, and it always troubled me when, like Saturday, when he brought a list, I like, oh wow, these lists, some of them are in Word document. People can change it. You understand? And then this morning when we saw the list, it's like he took the list and take his own copy. Somebody gave you list and you go to your own copy. The only thing I would advise the leadership, the chapter leaders, they should make sure they have the original list with them when they come into the convention. Because they come at the convention and they see that list is compromised, they're able to show the original list that they sent. Because you can do those things and it's troubling, but like the secretary said, we are not going to cry wolf and say, all this thing. We are going to determine, we're going to win, and we're going to change Ulaa. We're going to change the system, and we ask people to come September 18th, vote for a change. We are not telling you, we are not crying wolf, we are going there. And when the election is over, like Mr. Kamara said, it will verify, things will be verified and everything. But we will go there and we are going to win, and we are going to bring all the necessary change in Ulaa so Ulaa can be respected. So even if it is not election year, we can still have all the chapter participating. It is election year, all the chapter will participate and they will bring delegate because they will trust the system. So please come out September 18th, come and vote for change. Vote for the Shiwoh and Minerva team. The rest of these candidates are all vote for us, and you will see the change there. You know our records, you know what we can do. So please come and vote. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, the old man on the clock there time catch up with us here, but we're going to do a fairness here to get a wrap up here. And I will appreciate if I can get maybe the contact of who is in charge. And this is a very serious concern. Just barely the eve of the election to see some of these things happening. And it has to, and that's the only way the organization can survive, create a transparent process. Who wins it, they win it. But people have a lot of doubts, and then it's just not good. In fact, it's not good in modern democracy. I'm not saying there's no way election going to be 100%, but hey, there are certain things has to be put in place in order to give the process a credible one here. So let's see here. The presidential, hopefully we're going to put the cap on the head. Guys, if you can do me a favor at 1 minute USA time for us to wrap it up. I have some folks standing by. I want to get a quick initial reaction. So let me start from the Eastern Region Vice Presidential candidate, Mr. Reeves. Quickly here, 1 minute. What's your closest?
So thank you for this platform. This bottoming, this Ulaa that we call of Ulaa, and when we see things like this going on, sometimes it's troubling. we should be a voice that will speak back to our country. We should be the one to be initiating some sense of fairness. And a lot of times we find ourselves betraying even the little one back home. And what they really doing is, I will not, I can say nothing much, but I will just leave it with my team and my president as he already have said it, but I think we need to have them verify. And for me, the list that we send, and if that list is tampered with, then there is a problem, and they will verify before the election. So I don't know what to really say, but I say thank you, and let us move. Victory is ours.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Let me come to Dr. Jala. Dr. Jala, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Alfonso. Thank you to the listening audience for listening to our viewpoints. Above all, let me thank Mr. Sewu Kamara for according me the opportunity to be a part of your team. I just want to assure you, Shiwoh, and the Liberian people that as we will be elected on September 18, we're going to assure the Liberian people of accountability and transparency. Thank you, Mr. Alfonso.
All right, that's Dr. World Jadat, position for treasurer. Thank you so much. Let me go to the Northern region where Mr. Alpha Tonga is standing by. Mr. Tonga?
Yes, thank you, Alfonso, for having us on your show today. And as the president for the Liberian community here in Columbus, I really want to take the opportunity to welcome everybody to Columbus. Come see our beautiful city and come see all the great work our mayor is doing to expand, to move people here. And just to all the Liberians that will be coming to vote, please, we're just urging you to make sure you vote wisely, vote for change. We're tired of our community organizations running the way they're running. We're tired, you're tired, and to be honest with you, this is one of the most hyped up elections that I've seen in years. So I think the change has started, and the change starts with us. So just make sure you come and vote for the Shea Women Never team.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Mr. Bassi, the governor himself.
The original governor in Ulaa.
The governor, the doyen.
Yeah. Let me first of all say thank you, Mr. Alfonso Zena, for giving us this platform tonight to at least showcase our platform and also to speak directly to the voters that will be driving down to Ohio this weekend. This is a winning team. I believe in them. While I am the incumbent, I do believe in this team, and I'm asking that you vote for this team. This is a winning team. One or two things I need to stress on when we talk about effectiveness, that also reflects to what we refer to as the ad hoc committee. When we talk about bringing in a new system, a machine for the first time in the union when it comes to election, I believe even national or international, whenever a new instrument is being introduced, there has to be some training. We got to remember that we're going down to Ohio. We're going to have some new voter who just became member of the chapter and wanting to know what is Ulaa. They may be their first time voting, and they may not have even voted even in the United States, and they won't know how this process is going to work. For example, the ad hoc committee sent out a sample ballot where we have two Northern regional VP contesting, but that was kind of split out to say Mayor West. We do not have a Mayor West or candidate in the union. We have four regional VP: the Northern, the West, the South, and the East.
Okay, but we're going to get this conversation here, Mr. Bassi. Thank you so much.
So, I mean, I'm just
that's why you're coming. I hope when you come, if you succeed, whatever the case, all of these things we are talking today, they must be fixed. God want to hold you accountable.
And that's why we're bringing the change. That's what make all the change in Ulaa.
All right.
That change going to come in when we win this Saturday that is coming in. So thank
right.
you, and thank you, Tim, for at least making us to speak out tonight so that they can hear our voices. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you so much. Madam Nambet, the secretarial candidate.
Thank you, Mr. So again, thank you for having us here tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you to Mr. Kamara for selecting us to be part of your team. I would like to take this time to talk to the delegates to Ohio, Columbus this weekend. The change that we're looking for in Liberia starts with us. So when you go to Ohio this weekend, people, and you try to vote, that change you want starts with Ulaa in America. Vote for that change. Vote for people who will do what is necessary for you. Vote for us because we are going to be the voice of you. We will stand up for you. When you go to that ballot box, whether somebody pay your due or not, I need you to think. Liberia equals Ulaa in America. So, ladies and gentlemen, we beg for your vote. Give us that chance so we can bring the union to where it needs to be. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me go to Madam Grant, former commissioner. Iron lady. You want to unmute your mic? Your microphone. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we hear you.
I get it. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sion. Thank you for giving us the audience. My team finished saying it. I just want to say to the voters, to the delegates that are going, that are on this platform, and people that are on the platform that know delegates that are going, go and vote for change. You want to see change, Ulaa? Please vote for this team. Vote for the Shiwoh, Minerva, and the rest of the people on this platform. Vote for us. We have the record. The record is there in public for us. It's not photos. We're not showing your pictures. We're showing your record, things that you can read. No picture business. You go and look on Liberia elections website. Ulaa is there as a observer. We put Ulaa there. Okay? So we are advocating. You look on Philadelphia when Mr. Shiwoh was president. You put his name in Google concerning a presidential thing. What he did, they will tell you what he did in Philadelphia with the youth and the rest of the Canada here. So please, we're not doing pictures and no photo ops. It's what we have done and what we're going to do. You listen to the moderator here. He telling you, he know we work together. So I'm just asking people, please, when you come, vote your conscience. Vote for that change. And that change is the Shiwoh, Minerva, and the rest of us here. That change will come to Ulaa. Don't vote and then tomorrow say, why Ulaa doing for us? No. Okay?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the man himself who is leading the vessel going to get 2 minutes, let him make his case to the delegates. I don't know, super delegate, pledge delegate, or block delegate, whatever it is. Mr. Kamara.
Thank you so much, Mr. So, for hosting us, and thanks to your viewers who are listening. We are very thankful to them, for listening and for you hosting on this platform. Fellow Liberians, I want to speak to you directly. This union was created over 40 years ago, and it stood for some of the things that have brought relief to our country. That one of us, a Liberian, indigenous Liberian, can become president. That you can sit in the comfort of your home and call your state representative or your representative from Monrovia. Ulaa has stood and was in the vanguard for that struggle. Ulaa has come a long way, but in recent history, it has not live up to the kind of expectation that Liberians desire. All of you are aware that even the name Ulaa has become offensive to Liberians. People are discouraged. There's a general fatigue about Ulaa. Some of the little organizations, the chapters, and maybe even community and tribal organizations are even more effective in impacting their people than what Ulaa is. And the reason is because you have had people for the past 4 years who think that Ulaa is a dynasty. They own it, and they alone should be the one to occupy positions in that leadership. They've lied, they've told stories, but one thing they lack, they don't have is the experience. You can see the display of statesmanship and leadership at this forum. You heard us at the debate. We want you to come and vote wisely. Vote for change. Vote for a better Ulaa. If you want for your children to at least be able to come from school and go to a community center, this is the beginning. If you want to change where other chapters that dismember themselves or were expelled from Ulaa, this is the beginning. We are asking you to come on Saturday, the 18th of September, and vote wisely. We can assure you that change is on the way. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, folks, that does it this evening. Mr. Kamara and the Kamara Grand Team, I want to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to also play into your narrative. We hope, regardless of the situation, this shouldn't be the end of our conversation, especially when you get at the White House. White House, because by the time you're clearing all that, and you're 10 busy. Call and machine, please leave your name and message. Have a long recording where you can get answered, please. Don't build a wall of Jericho. Get out there.
But Alfonso, you'll be in the briefing room. How you will not be heard?
All right, okay.
You'll be in the briefing room in the White House.
Yeah, you will.
But honestly, I think our community, I don't understand Ulaa, even the organization, they should reach out, not necessarily just outright. But they should reach out to these, platform people that keep the real conversation. I'm not talking about my last name. But guys, I want to thank you so much. We wish the best of luck. We hope the administration or those that are facilitating the electoral process, they will do everything possibly they can to make sure the process is smooth, because that's where the fallout of these community organizations, the electoral process, is people put in time, and so it's a serious business. There's no play. Guys, I want to thank you so much and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you.
A quick reaction from two persons standing by here right after this here. Stay tuned, don't go away. Okay, well, thank you so much. Let me just, guys, I think I'm done with us. Let me see here. Joining me near the capital of Washington, D.C. is the former Secretary General of the Union of Liberian Associations. Ato Wiado is joining us here. I'm going to get a quick reaction. He once played a major role here within the Union. Mr. Wiado, Ato, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. I hope, I'm not sure why Mr. Howard is not here.
Howard is facing an emergency. He is at an emergency in Brooklyn as we speak. His daughter has an injury while playing, I think, baseball. So he's there. He must have communicated like some 45 minutes ago.
Oh, hold on a minute. He said he's here, but no, he's getting me here. I'm not getting his. Okay, All right, good. Yeah, T here is okay. All right, here we go. Let's see here. These are very strong community actors. He is the president of the Association University, Melvin Dato Howard, my own fellow cardinal, is here, and we are is here. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Let me get your
Thank
quick
you, thank you, thank you. Interesting night.
yeah, let me get a quick reaction here. Let's hold these people here. Let me start with you, Arthur Wiado. You once served in this positions, election ahead. You going to the convention, right? Are you one of
Of
the
course,
delegates? Are you
of
one of the
course,
delegates?
of course. I am one of the delegates
Super
from the
delegate.
Washington metro area. Yes, I am.
You willing to make a disclosure here? Have you listened? You listened to the debate, the audio
Yeah, I listened to the debate from start to finish,
Okay.
and I just want to make this disclaimer that indeed my analysis is based on my past experience, and I'm speaking for Arthur Do, only Arthur Wiado. I'm not speaking on behalf of any candidate for that matter. So I just want to make that disclaimer. Thank you so much.
Okay, so you are going as a super delegate. Have you decided which direction, which way you are going based on the debate and all of that? Are you going with substance or are you going with what?
I am going as a delegate from the Washington metro area as a chief of staff to the current president of the Washington metro area, Professor Webmo, to Professor Webmo Ray. We want to make sure that we have our delegate list to the election commission, and we did, and we are going there to cast our votes.
Yes.
But purposely here, we are not going to disclose who we are going to vote for. We're going to make sure that we watch whatsoever we say here and to provide our candid analysis.
Analysis.
Relevant.
So put into context, you plead the fifth, right?
What is it?
You plead the fifth, right?
The fifth, definitely.
Okay. Let me go to President Melvin Datu Howard right here in my own ocean state of Rhode Island in the vanguard of advocacy. Mr. Howard, good evening.
Well, good evening, Brother Sue, and also to my own friend and brother, my SG, Ito Wiado. Good evening. Happy to be here with you.
Okay. Quickly here, we're going to do a run through here. Let me get your quick reaction here. The future of Ulaa. You listened to, I believe you followed the debate. We reached out to both campaigns if they can come here. We're able to get a consent from the Shiwoh and Grand campaign, and that's why they are here today. What does that? Any new visions, any new sense of directions of Ulaa based on what you know and what we see unfolding?
Well, first of all, before I continue, let me just set this disclaimer. Why it is true, I am the national president of the University of Liberia Alumni Association in the Americas that represents over 6,000 students across, members across this country. I am here in my own private capacity, and everything that I will say represent my view. And moreover, I am the twin mother because Mr. Kamara Shiwoh, he from the University of Liberia, and Brother Carter along with Madam Kier. So I am not part of any of the campaign or not part of any of the team, but I am here as one of the leaders in the diaspora to see how best we can give our own analysis that will help the union. It's not helping individual camp. No matter who win, I mean, we still see some problem within the union. We think with this analysis, those that are going to win, they will pick up those points we made. If they see a fit, that will help the union to move at a different level. So I here in my private capacity, and I'll give my analysis based upon what I see.
I can imagine we are. I kind of president to do. I kind of power.
I left the LU car parked in my yard, so
so you left the LU uno. You get as a private citizen. Let's talk it.
And quickly, I'm not speaking on behalf of the LCADC Metro. Let me make that disclaimer as well. Despite the fact that we are really ingrained into the LCA here, but on a no condition. What I say here, it is Atoyado, not the LCADC Metro.
That's my man. They want anybody to hold out their
So,
word.
brother, so having
Yeah.
made my disclaimer, let me just go straight into your question you asked. I've been following development prior to the debate and prior to the guests coming here tonight. I've been following the development of Ulaa because you know and I know there have been some drastic change in the movement in the union as a whole. You got a lot of things lacking, and I think we can do. I'm talking about them. We can do better than what is obtaining now. So yes, I followed the last debate, and I must commend the two gentlemen are going for this opposition. I mean, this non-profit to head it in this country is tedious. You're not getting paid. You get insulted. So I must commend them. And also tonight, I followed the interview that you have with the team. I also want to commend those that are on the team. But however, for me as an individual, from the first debate, I will just give you my takeaway. Watch the debate, and I think the both candidates were very eloquent in making what's our case. But I think they fell short of not going to the issue. What each camp or team will do to make the union to be different. All I saw personally as an individual was like a personal attack against each other. And if you read the constitution of the union, it's one thing is talking about to unify ourselves. We may disagree to agree, but the bigger picture, what can we do as a union? One, to help our brothers and sisters in Liberia, because that one of the main, that's the preamble for Ulaa, to make sure that our people back home have better economic and social life. What can we do? But I think I missed that in the first debate. It was all, I mean, for some money issue, just back and forth. I did not see even the tangibles that were done by the last administration, who Mr. Carter is in, and my own friend and brother Shiwoh. I personally did not see, okay, what you're doing now, I will do it differently. So I think I was not too pleased with the first debate. That was my own assessment. And before my brother comes in, I think I listened to all the candidates. They talk about change. Change is not just about changing Mr. A from leadership and Mr. B getting there. Change should start with yourself. It should start with your thinking of the union. How you see the union to be. Once you adapt that change in your mind, like, yes, we are here to help our people, that where change start from. So whether you change the leadership, but you still have the mindset, there will not be a change. And lastly, before I kind of turn over to my brother, one area I think that has been affected is still been affected by the union, and I think I expressed it to some key stakeholders. I believe the union should be much more inclusive and open. And I don't see most of the candidates talking about that, because according to the union constitution, it's a chapter-based organization. That's perfect. I believe in chapter. In my association, we got a lot of chapters around. But the caveat is that once a chapter is inactive, that means every permanent Liberian that live in that state, forget it, you're not part of the union, you're on your own. I think it's troubling.
You know what happened to us right now, right?
Right, in Rhode Island. What our chapter is not based upon the union, but it's based upon the leadership of the chapter here, in which the union cannot control. Whether you have series of meeting with them, it'll be a waste of time. So then what are you going to do with Alfonso So's union that right in this Rhode Island chapter is inactive for reason best known to the leadership? Is he going to just be left alone? So I think if the two camps can look at that era to have it open, not just county association and Liberian Community Association, in America, look at the schools, the various schools, alumni association. Because like we said, Ulaa, like the country Liberia. But you can't take one batch and leave the other batch. You need every Liberia all hands on deck. So if I'm in Rhode Island, if I'm not part of an active chapter, well, I want to play my part. I cannot, because why? I got to go through the chapter of business. So I will stop thus far and let my brother continue, and we'll give more analysis.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Let's get the ball rolling. I did listen to the two candidates. In fact, the team, the debate the last time, and I wanted to listen to the two tonight. Unfortunately, based on what you just said, the other team did not confirm. But I want to look at the presentations that was made in last debate, and I want to agree partially with my dear brother and friend, Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard and myself, we are not in a debate. We are just trying to provide our candid advice. You know, some of us, we rose to the rank of Ulaa. We serve as Secretary General on the board, and our records are there. We try as much as possible to get out of the boardroom and get in the public where the people are going to visibly see us. But in Ulaa, there are certain things that are there. They call the general principles, and the general principles are things that Ulaa is actually supposed to be doing. And look at the general principle. You're talking about how you can lead your community here. How can you contribute towards the economic development of Liberia? And how can you handle leadership? The general principle talk about. We try as much as possible when we were there to look at the general principle and come up with a more than 45-page document and some of the tangibles that we left there. But let me tell you, I didn't hear anything about tangibles that the two teams going to do in terms. Like, only thing I heard is we have impeccable records. We served before. We want more meat, more ingredients. We want to see things that the two teams, the winning team, going to do. And when convince us what you're going to do differently, than your current. I don't want to picky on my dear brother and friend Carter, but I made a certain statement the last time with my leader here, Madam Kia, that I would not support Carter because Carter and myself worked together for quite a long time, and I was clear on my position because I know very well that in Ulaa you have to get out there and promote the general principles of Ulaa. And I didn't see it. We laid the groundwork when we were there.
Who was after we are not going to be supporting? You say you.
I am going to be supporting. Let me finish talking with Carter issue now. Then I will come on the Shiwoh side too. And, so I didn't see any clear thing that we set up. That indeed when you leave in one leadership, whatsoever thing that is left, you continue it. You don't have to change anything. If you will change it, just tweak it a little bit and make some progress in that. Carter Day was in the vanguard. He did some advocacy. He went to Liberia, and he made big promises that will not be kept. Of course, we know that. We thought the little things would be important to handle than the bigger thing. But on the other side, when you flip the coin, with Shiwoh did not deliver anything that really interested me at all. Even tonight, I want to see tangibles. What Shiwoh going to do? Look at the general principle. Will you abide by every aspect of the general principle? You're supposed to tell the public. For instance, we had a school project in Liberia. That was small thing that you could do.
Brief here. I have like 5 minutes here.
Okay. When Shiwoh made his presentation, what I wanted to see is what about change he's going to bring. Because when Shiwoh, in his last election, I didn't see any reading from him that, I'm advocating for the little things in the community. I'm advocating for this thing to change Liberia, the way in which Liberia is going. And
why
what I wanted to do, the rep issues that are going on in the country, I needed a man who wanted to be a president of Ulaa. He's supposed to be saying something about rape. He's supposed to be saying something about corrupt practices. He's supposed to be saying something about a lot of ills that are in the Liberian society and here. But I didn't see anything. I didn't read anything from him. So that is why I said I want to see him really committing himself to doing those things. And then probably if Carter can even change the coin and change my mind, then of course when we get there, we can decide what to do.
All right. Okay. The guy speaking in an esoteric tone here this evening and do something. Okay, Mr. Howard, you are a community leader. We're going to be living here in the next few years. You listen to Arthur Weirdo. Are you in the same wing as well? Any difference from these people?
Well, I think kind of I may tend to agree with my own friend and brother Weirdo, because again, when you in an organization, you champion the cause of that organization. Like right now, ourselves as the president, national president of the UL, my duty or responsibility or our duty is to make sure we help the University of Liberia, and we talk on things that will be, very important to the institution. Of late, the recent riot, we got involved from all the parties, the students and the administration, we got involved. So the author said, he is right, because we need to change our ways of doing things now, advocate for our people. We are not, at time of we, Ulaa is not anti-government. If the government does right, press them.
Yeah.
The government, like for an example, putting street light into Grand Crew. I've never been to Grand Crew, but it's commendable. Okay, the union should at least release a statement. But if they do wrong, call them up and let people speaking for them. When he right, I listen to him. None of these leaders, not even a Carter, we say, say anything in this regard with guys to what's going on in Liberia. So I give an example. From the past, I think pretty soon, pretty much, this union needs to be reformed, because it should not be about ourselves.
The reformation. So what specifically a quick
the reformation in the sense that I think I just need one. Make it inclusive. It too close up this chapter. And let me tell you something that the candidates said about the list, this and that. Information I got. This president for one of the chapters, so to be, he does not subscribe to the ideology of Ulaa. He's the president. He wants a chapter. You gave him the list, he took the list and decided to carry the list 3 days after the deadline. Why would one individual try to deprive entire members of a chapter because why it does not like Ulaa? So if you have people coming as individual, pay their dues and coming that nobody control them, yes, you can keep your chapter status, but make sure that you have a caveat that look here, if the chapter is not really active, don't deprive Liberians. Let them get involved and be member of this association.
Let them take their president title, because people want to be head of a group and they don't want to
fight. And nothing they're doing.
I think that they need to take
nothing approach. And another thing that is coming into Ulaa that I really like is that a female for the first time in Ulaa history is running for a secretary general position. A female. And
why are you placing emphasis on that?
I'm placing emphasis on the because I have been supporting women candidates for quite a long time, from Dr. Maria Seaton. You know the history of Arthur Weirdo. And I just love for ladies to be in leadership.
Your vote is going to that position.
Oh yeah. I'm going to. I know my man will feel bad, but I will vote for her. I definitely going to vote for her. That she will be breaking the glass ceiling, and for the first time in history, to be the first female secretary general. I know my man will get there, but I just gotta be upfront with him. So I love for female to be somehow participating in such a very competitive position. But that female, she have been in the vanguard for quite a long time. She was on the planning committee. So she knows Ulaa. And what she said, she does. She is a doer. She loves her independence, but she works collectively. She is not a YSA person. No, but she's working collectively. I love her.
We are though, Melvin, that will have here. Before you go here quickly, there's some sort of apprehension being expressed over the electoral process. Gentlemen, one minute each, put it into context. I've been here for a little longer time here today. Started with your Liberian drama, endless drama, and then
you love that, but you're tired now. But here's the situation.
So
where we are now. Anyway, Barry, go, Barry.
Yeah, because let me go. I don't know a lot of the electoral process, and I think my brother we are doing a quarterback man. But I just want to again recognize one of my members also on the Shiwoh team, Will Jala. He's my national financial secretary. So that's the reason why I'm very careful. I'm not part of any team, but I wish the best. The best team, best of luck. So to close up, I just want to
be careful about here. This is what I don't like, and everybody try to take this sort of political correctness. This is the same thing here. Other people looking at experience, people competence, and all of those things factor in. Melvin, I know you. You know where we came from. If this guy is a secretary, do you have a doubt? Is he not competent?
I mean, from the both sides. No, Conrad,
you can't have it both. Don't do that to me this evening. You can't have it.
No, Conrad, to be frank, they both can analyze them, and they are all good people. Trust me, they are all good people. So for me, as a leader, you want to sit, you give advice if it's necessary. Don't be quick to criticize. Don't be quick to take sides. So
Mr. Toll, we hold Melvin involved tonight. Probably he has something kind of intention in the future for you, but we'll hold it.
Before you switch your position as well.
No, I thought we are not like for nothing politics. No, we get to that position. But comrade, just to ain't no conclude my point is that look here, I want to make a passionate appeal to what is losing side. You do not have to be in leadership before you come up with change of a institution, right? I'm sitting outside. I've been advocating, especially when it comes to the chapter-based organization. I've been talking to stakeholders to make sure let us try to amend that and involve other people. I don't need position to do that. So I think after we talk about the election, because I don't know much about the whole process.
Before I can talk about the election quickly, I want to negate people who continue to say Shiwoh is an election candidate. That is wrong. That is totally wrong. This man has attended every Ulaa convention, and he has had a plenary, and he has made recommendations. But for people, because of political leaning, they will call this man that he is an electoral, he just coming badger for election. It is not right at all. It is not fair at all.
Yes,
Some people who stay there for 20 years will want to see the tangibles. If Shiwoh wants to be president, he got to tell us why he can do. If Carter wants to be president, he got to change some of the things that are usually happen and admit it and say, look, I am whatsoever things that have been done in Ulaa, I will take responsibility, but I'm going to change it. That's how it's supposed to be. Now come to the electoral process. My dear brother, where we are now in the entire electoral process, that gave God the glory for us to go to the convention, for us to close everything, because it made some of us mad that a constitution that we abide by, and we have everything just thrown away. We're just doing things on our own. We are not supposed to be holding an ad hoc commission that would be taking care of our electoral process. We have an election commission that should be taking care of it. But what went wrong, it already passed. Let us move ahead to make sure that we don't want to shift blame on anybody. But I urge delegates to go to the convention and then exercise their rights to making sure that to reshape Ulaa a little bit. Look at the general principles and go with the guts. The notion that people are saying Ulaa is a 501c3 organization, that lie. Ulaa is an advocacy. It is not a 501c3. The National Social Service Commission within Ulaa, it is that committee that hold that status, that where Ulaa can benefit from. So, Mr. Yonzo, my dear brother Howard, I thank you so much for the night. I thank you for the interaction. I'm so happy. Going into the convention, I'm going with a renewed zeal. I said I will not vote for Carter, but Carter was supposed to tell me what can I change. That he admitted the fact that anything went on, he will take the blame, but he can change Ulaa. And Shiwoh supposed to confirm that indeed I am ready. I was a president before. I took you leadership. When I'm president, I can change the course. Thank you so much.
Okay. So just 1 second, I beg you 1 second before I just want to make the disclaimer again. Somebody, it is true you have to make change from within. You cannot be outside to make the change. But here's the thing, and again I will repeat myself. Currently, we all do love the union, but we are being restricted and banned because why? Our chapter in Ulaa is inactive. We don't have a Liberian Community Association, so how can I make the change and I'm part of no chapter?
You got it.
You need to address.
Man, you're still on inside.
All right,
we're not good with keep you outside.
Thank you so much for your expertise, Mr. Melvin Datu Howard and Arthur Wiado. Well, folks, to our guests, and if you our follower, we want to thank you. If that's your first time, subscribe with Liberia Public Radio to Lpr-Tv. Let me see this person being calling here this evening. Let me get a quick reaction here. I don't know who is there. Caller, are you there? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Su. I've been trying to call to make my contribution to the program. But,
yeah, actually, we're not doing the phone call. We're just having exclusive with these people. Okay, but you on the line quickly, 1 minute.
Yeah, so I also come from the Shiwoh campaign, and I wanted to actually speak to what Melvin said, that he didn't believe that folks the candidates spoke the issue. But I want to tell him that Mr. Kamara has spoken to the issues. His mantra of change is not exclusive. He also questioned the issue of participation in the union. This is where the issue lies. All of us who are Liberians in the diaspora want to get involved.
Make it brief as possible. 1 minute. I'm out of go now.
Sure. So I mean, if Mr. Kamara is elected president, Ulaa will be reactivated. We should is reactivated. Ulaa will rejoin the committee of the union. And all of us will make progress and advocate for those changes that are necessary for Ulaa. We are a membership-based organization, chapter-based. So
all right.
let's keep our focus and see how we can change Ulaa to get more involvement and more participation for all Liberians in the diaspora.
Thank you.
And I'll see you in Columbus, Ohio, to vote for Mr. Shiwoh Kamara.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here to our guest, Mr. Melvin Datu Howard. Is the president of the University Student Association here in the U.S. I thought we are the former Secretary General and our special guest, the Shiwoh Grant team.
Like you do it, you a true God. Yes. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. But Genesis and they planted in this new world.
Why election follow Harahara within the Liberian community? Why there should be an ad hoc? What is that?
The grassy God will pray more. The God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the God of mighty blow. But there is power in your blood, and what I'm giving praises. Yes. I got to dance and David dance. They think I'm getting crazy. But
well, this is the first time. Just subscribe to our Facebook page. That's Liberia Public Radio to be able to get at the light. Hit the bell sound. Click on all notifications, or even go to our YouTube page.
My struggle when I'm very stressed. So my papa bless me. Then my enemy they get the best.
If you have your business planned event, you need to showcase your qualities and things that you can do. LPR is the network to be on. Common Cat, I come for Conant and our own Letty Brooks Robert. Good evening, thank you to Michelle Bala, Francis Colley, and the list goes on.
Let it go, let it go, oh, let it go, let it go. Lord, help me, let it go. Your people are suffering.
They don't understand that the people are suffering.
Suffering for all kinds of sickness, Lord. Lord, help them. That sickness that devouring you, I say.
Sickness of leadership deficiency. The leadership deficit in Liberia is everywhere, national, locally, and that is why killing the fabric of our organization.
I say you spirit of suppression, let it go. Spirit of denial, spirit of depression, let it go, man. Oh, I'm tired. I can low and go. If you're picking, take your chemo. Let it go.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here this evening. Until then, I'm Alfonso Zayan Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. By God's willing, same time, same network, we're going to be right here. Have a pleasant evening. Stay safe. Let's pray for our country. Mama Liberia, a lot of challenges politically, everything, and even within the diaspora. But we, the conversation, the tone, the message, the ability to listen to the other people before making a judgment, and even giving them the opportunity to hear their side of the story will help to stabilize, to make Liberia a better Liberia. You can't blackmail people. You can't demonize people because you want to seek state power. It is wrong. It is unacceptable. And those who want to circumvent the democratic process in Liberia, it is unacceptable, and we must rebuke and denounce those people because those ideas does not represent modern civilization. Until then, I'm Alfonso Z, and so have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.